COVID-19 cost Bangladesh economy US $21 billion in fiscal year 2020. The COVID-19 losses for Bangladesh's economy might have reached between $9.0 billion US and $21 billion US in the just concluded fiscal year, an economist said on Thursday. However, the country can offset it by earning an additional $25 billion by exporting products to the Chinese market alone, helped by the duty-free benefit the world's second-largest economy after the United States offered. The country can also attract a huge amount of foreign direct investment, especially from China and India capitalizing on the trade benefit, according to Research Director at the Policy Research Institute of Bangladesh Dr. Abdur Razzaque said. His forecast came as he presented a keynote paper on COVID-19 and international trade issues at a virtual workshop, organized jointly by Economic Reporters Forum, ERF, Rapid and the Asia Foundation. Commerce Minister Deepu Munshi and Dhaka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, DCCI, President Shams Mahmood and Business Initiative Leading Development, BUILD, Chairman Abul Kashem Khan were present as chief guest and guests of honor at the workshop. Like global economies, Bangladesh has also been affected by COVID-19, said Mr. Razzaque, adding though the actual impact on Bangladesh's gross domestic product has yet to be clear, economic disruptions have led to various socio-economic consequences. In economic value-added terms, $9 billion to $21 billion could have been lost until June 2020, he said, citing various growth projections for both Bangladesh and the world. He said the new poor due to COVID-19 are in the range of 16 to 42 million and 70 million, or 42.5% of the population were either poor or vulnerable prior to the pandemic. Adding the new poor would make it around 90 million either poor or vulnerable, and poverty, absolute poverty, elimination now could take 5 to 10 years more depending on different growth rates. Remittances are under pressure while exports were badly hit, especially during March to May because of COVID-19, he said, terming FY'2019-20 an unusual year for Bangladesh's exports as the growth was negative throughout the fiscal, except for July and December due mainly to the US-China trade war. His paper showed about 40% of European and US consumers are likely to reduce household spending, while a much higher proportion of 65% to cut spending on clothing and footwear. Bangladesh is largely dependent on its ready-made garment export earnings, while leather is a potential sector to grow further. Mr. Razzaque said during January to December this year, the apparel sector is expected to show a lower percentage of change because of its much bigger export base, while the leather sector can have a negative growth of 28% under a low-shock scenario. Bangladesh has set an export target of $48 billion, $41 billion from goods and $7.0 billion from services, he said. If the target is achieved despite the uncertainties, Bangladesh's export would fully recover from the loss of 2019-20 shipments. He, however, termed the post-LDC graduation one of the major challenges for the exports, as the country will lose the duty-free market access to major markets, including the European Union, Canada, and Australia, where local products have to face duty ranging from 6.0% to 18%, especially RMG, home textiles, footwear and fish. Bangladesh export competitiveness will erode after the post-graduation period, as EU tariffs on the Vietnamese exports will come down to zero for over 99% tariff lines by 2027. On the other hand, after LDC graduation, tariffs on Bangladesh apparel items could see a sharp rise of 9.5%. The presentation showed estimating high loss for the country's RMG exports to the regional bloc, terming recent Chinese benefits significant. Mr. Razzaque said currently 30% export potential in China can be utilized, and if Bangladesh can increase its market share to 1.0%, additional $25 billion export is possible. Many firms are leaving China due to geo-economic factors, and Bangladesh can attract Chinese and Indian investment using the extended duty-free market access, he noted. Making most of the Chinese duty-free market access will be a game-changer for exports, he noted. Explaining LDC graduation impact on the Chinese market, he said 78% of exports will face duties higher than 10% after the graduation, which could lead to a potential export fall by 19% of current shipments to China. Speaking at the event, the Commerce Minister said Bangladesh will sign its first Free Trade Agreement, FTA, with Bhutan within the next months, while discussions on signing the similar deal with many countries, including Indonesia, have advanced. He said a task force headed by the Commerce Secretary is working on taking timely decisions and their implementation during and post-COVID-19 situation. Mr. Mahmood stressed upon a policy that creates linkage with small and medium enterprises to help attract FDI and diversify export. Echoing Mr. Mahmood, Build chairman Mr. Khan said all policies including tax, import and export should be revised to grab the post-COVID-19 opportunity. He stressed the need for speedy measures, warning Bangladesh might miss the opportunity if moves slow and steady.